Welcome to the broadcast. Big Beatles event in Boston. Big, big, big. And here to tell us about it is Chachi Loprete, Beatles wild man. We got John Logan, Beatles magician. Sal Baglio, who's a Boston rocker, among other things. And executive producer Stephanie Loprete. Yay. I'm so glad you're back from the summer break. And you're going to kick it off in style with a show that celebrates the 60th anniversary of the Beatles' 1964 show at the Boston Garden. That's big, right? Who wants to go first and fill in the details? Okay, Chachi.
This is a significant event. Listen, every show that we do at the winery, we're there every month, Sunday brunch, each with a different Beatles subject. But this one is very, very special because 60 years ago this month, the Beatles played just down the street from City Winery at the Boston Garden to 13,909 fans. And here we are 60 years later. We're going to celebrate it. We have a lot of special things happening, including a live performance by a man that I've admired for so many years, a talented musician, a dear friend, a great cook, I will say. And he is my pal, Sal Baglio. You know Sal from the Stompers back in the day, the amplifier heads nowadays, along with his friends like Baron Switfield. So it's a big, big event this Sunday at noon.
And let's go run through how it goes, because I remember when I first heard about what you were doing, I thought, how's that going to work? I don't get it. What? Oh, I can't imagine it. I can't envision it. If I can't envision it, I can't do it. So let's do the envisioning. Who wants to? I'll start. It's at City Winery in a big, beautiful room where you can get good food and good drinks, either alcoholic or otherwise. It's at noon, right? Noontime. Mm-hmm. I don't know what kind of menu they have this time. Is it a regular menu or a brunch menu? Don't know. But
it's a combo plate of each.
Combo plate of each.
Yes.
Okay.
So they have brunch menus, items, and their regular menu.
It's kind of a one-ring circus with it's a multimedia presentation with live music from Sal, and it has lots of Beatles info you didn't know about, lots of rare Beatles footage. There are tremendous prizes. Chachi's a wicked good host John, and they really keep it moving, even more than when you started. You know, it gets better each time, more pro each time. It's very slick, and slick in a good way. It moves right along. There's no boredom. I've gone to everyone, and will continue to go to everyone I'm able to go to. And now, John, fill in the blank, I guess. Talk a little bit more about how the magic works. That's a key thing. How does Beatles magic work?
That's a great question. Yeah, Bradley, you summed it up great. You know, we try to produce an event with a little bit of everything for everyone, right? So we have rare footage of the Beatles. I perform magic as well, the themes around the Beatles. We have live music. We have wine. We have food. We give away prizes. It's really fun. And the magic is really cool. So you learn about the Beatles through the magic that I do. I've been doing magic for about 15 years now. I travel the world performing. But the magic I do is really cool because, again, you're learning about either the personalities or a story behind a song, but through the scripting of the magic. A lot of audience participation as well. And we try to make it go each segment to go fast, and it's fun. We put you on a little roller coaster ride. It's really fun.
And one thing that's different from regular concerts is you go to a concert, you're kind of isolated. It's you and maybe who you go with. You're staring at the band, and maybe you're dancing around a little bit, but you're kind of isolated. You don't really interact with the other folks. You don't feel love from the other folks in the room. And this is a different thing because there's a common bond, and you can feel the connection between your fellow people there, and that's not not an imagined thing. It's a very real and almost tangible thing. And I know you'll notice it when you go there. The other thing is, this guy Bags, is tremendous. It's tough to know how good somebody is until you see them. And you'll be like, okay, there's a guy going to do Beatles songs, whatever. But as soon as he starts, you go, oh my God, the dude is great. And so there's that shocker. And I particularly remember I just always look forward to the ones that Sal does. I look forward to them all, but when Sal's on, it's like, oh yeah, this is going to be awesome. Sal, Did you just do the Beatles here because they asked you to do it, or do you love the Beatles? And how did you come to love the Beatles?
Well, of course, I love the Beatles, and Chachi, Steph, and John inviting me is just an honor and a pleasure. Uh, I, have I done two of them so far? I forget. I'm losing track. Uh, but I'm asked to play Beatle music, which is just a treat. And the show is great, and I love being part of it. For this show, being that it's primarily about the 1964 concert in Boston, I chose to do some songs from that era. Because, as you know, usually I go kind of late 60s with my Beatles stuff. I think I've performed Strawberry Fields and Happiness is a Warm Gun, different tunes like that. But I'm going to stay in 1964 this time. And I got some nice songs planned.
Do you have to rehearse a lot, or can you just do it?
Well, I seem to just remember the tunes. I may have to check with the lyrics now and then, just to make sure. When I was a kid, man, my memory, I could remember lyrics, especially the Beatle lyrics, just right off the get-go. But I need to check them, make sure I got them right. Other than that, it's like these tunes have been with me my entire life, which is true. It's not like they have been with me my entire musical life, and so they're just another part of me. So it's easy.
So this is a particularly special one because it's related to a particularly special event, and I'd like to hear more about that specialness. Chachi, come back to you. This was Boston Garden, 1964. Break it down. Give me was it summer? Was it winter? Was it a hot night? Was it a cold night? 13,000 people doesn't seem like very many. It's actually kind of small. I'm surprised to hear that's all that fit in the Boston Garden. Like, how many fit at Great Woods? More than about that, right? Something like that.
A little more than that, but there have been some disputes. But in all the sources that I've checked, it was 13,909. This is the program they were selling in the venue, in the garden, when you went into the show. And so I'll tell you what's special about the show on Sunday. This is going to be the single largest gathering of people that were at that show in 64 coming to our show. And they have very, very special stories. Our Zoom guests will be 3 former Yale students who traveled to Boston with the direct intention to sneak into the Beatles press conference the afternoon of the show at the Madison Hotel right next door to the Garden. They succeeded. They asked the Beatles questions. They took photographs. They took cigarette butts and ashes after the Beatles left. They asked a question where John thought he was being insulted, but it wasn't an insult. Those stories will come to light. Debbie Chase, a young teenager, was shadowed by a Boston Globe reporter to the show as a story. The reporter took her into the press conference. She got on her knees, crossed along the floor, underneath the table where the Beatles were. The Beatles looked over and said, "What are you doing down there?" They brought her up. Paul let her kiss him on the cheek. She'll tell that story. There'll be another woman there who sat in the first row. He will tell her story. There will be a Kathy Laney, who is a friend of Sal. She's like 93. She saw the Beatles. She is coming to the show as well. Andrew Gavazzos. You remember Andrew?
Yeah. Was he the record guy for the Beatles?
He was at the show at 11 years old. He had a program like this. He met someone there who was wearing a Beatle wig. He thought he was Ringo. He had him autograph his book. He'll tell his story. I mean, we have a lot of people coming that were at the show, and they will share their recollections of seeing the Beatles. Another woman, Sharon Kennedy, snuck into the press conference and got to meet the Beatles. So we'll have a lot of people at the show who were there in 64 sharing their memories and recollections. It's going to be very exciting.
I'm particularly interested So you hear the stories of how they snuck in. What was their plan? How did they execute it? How did it work out? What they were thinking.
The three gentlemen from Yale, it was one guy's idea. He enlisted two friends, and this guy was a member of the student radio station at Yale, so he had a radio ID from Yale. And so he got his buddies, said, "We're going to go, but if I get into the press conference, I'm going in alone, and you guys will be on your own." And they all agreed that would be the case. And so the guy was so smart, he heard a reporter talking about the show. So he called the Madison, asked for that reporter's room. They connected him. The guy picked up. He said, "Listen, I'm from a radio station. Who do I talk to get into press conference?" He gave him a name. He called that woman at the hotel. The woman picked up. "Hey, I'm from a radio station. Sure, you can come to the press conference. Bring your ID." And that's how it all started. And they'll go into the details of how they got in there. So they were all very ingenious ways to get in to meet the Beatles.
Once again, this is Sunday. Sunday, the 8th. And it's at noontime. It's at City Winery, easy to get to. That's a good thing, a really good thing about City Winery, centrally located. And it's on Sunday, so parking is easier, right?
That's
Free.
correct.
Is it free?
Meter parking is free, yes.
And also, getting in from any of the T lines, pretty easy. South, north, east, well, west. That's how I go. I think you're going to find it a fantastic, fun thing. You probably want to, go to all of them if you've never been before. There are lots of folks who go every time, and some folks dance around. Who's the woman? Beth with the lit up. Is it Beth with the lit up Beatles dress? It's like got lights in it and stuff.
Yes, she usually shows up. She'll probably be there.
Give me a hint about the prizes and how you win them.
Well, John, first of all, we want to thank Cheap Thrills Music in Dedham. This is our second year this month, our second year of doing a monthly residency at City Winery. And every month from the very beginning, even prior to that, from my other shows, Bob Walsh, the owner of Cheap Thrills Music, would always give us at least 7 original Beatle albums per show to give away. Now, this afternoon, I'm going to see Bob to pick up the album. So I don't know exactly what is going to be in the grab bag this show, but it's going to be great. John, how do we give away those albums?
Sure. There are 3 ways to win prizes here. The first way is when you walk into the venue, you'll have a piece of paper at your table with 5 trivia questions about the theme of the show. So you fill out the questionnaires, you figure out what you want the answer to be, write your name down, then you put it into a bag, and this all happens before the show. So you submit your answers inside the bag. So throughout the show, we'll go over those answers. So the way it works out is that we'll put one of the questions up on the screen. We'll take a random one out of the bag, and if your name is on it and you got the answer correct, you get to win one of those prizes. So that's one way to win the prize. Another way is that we sometimes have trivia questions up on the screen. We'll have a hand-raised question. So we'll say, if anyone knows the answers, raise your hand. We point to you and you get the answer correct, you can win it that way as well. And the final way to win a prize is that as long as you fill out that piece of paper I was talking about a moment ago and you have your name on it, you submit it into the bag. At some point in the show, we'll just give away a random prize, and we'll just pick out a random piece of paper. And if your name is on that, even if you got all of the questions wrong, but if your name is on that piece of paper, you still get to win the prize as well. So there's multiple ways to win the prize. Even if you know nothing about the Beatles, you can still win some prizes at the show.
And even if you don't know the answers to the questions, write something down. Just give it a crazy guess.
Yep.
Because you might be right. Just name one of the Beatles. Just make up a name. For a while, I was just saying George to everything. Yeah. Sometimes I would win.
Yep.
Sal, don't you have anything you could give away? Some Boston weird rock thing, like the socks you wore at the Stompers gig or something like that. I don't know. The unwatched socks.
Those are old, but yeah, I got some things. I'll bring some.
Well, I shouldn't speak. Maybe they don't want to give them away. I shouldn't speak out of turn on that.
I would.
Maybe they want to keep it Beatles oriented. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to be inclusive and include you in this whole prize thing. That's all.
If Chachi, Steph, and John want anything, then I'm sure we can dig it up.
So I'm good. I'm.
Best
This is.
prize is having Sal play.
I know that's the first
Sal-
prize. Really
Sal
good.
is the greatest. Steph and I would see him at the channel, and one of my favorite songs. If I was on an island and I had to pick 10 albums, it would be the Stompers album, because my favorite song is "Ain't Those Cats the Most," rocking from coast to coast. Yeah, yeah. I've seen him play that back in the day. What a great song. But the amplifier heads. In fact, Steph and I just saw Sal with his band and Baron Switchfield at the Bull Run. And it was such a great show. It was fantastic.
It's kind of cool having Barrett's there, you know. I love him. We all love him. He's just so good, you know.
You have your guitar there, Sal. Are you going to play, or are you just touching it?
I was just going to play little
You're just loving it.
of Beatles, and then
All right.
I want to tell you.
Down. So it's funny. It's too bad that it's so hard to do music online because the mics cut out. The mics get overdriven. Is what happens. Anyway, you'll get to hear. I get it. You get to hear the real deal. Thank you so much, Chachi, Stephanie, John, and Sal. Am I forgetting anything? Once again, it's Sunday noontime at City Winery, 80 Beverly Street. That's, just look it up on your phone, take the T, drive in. It's a chill, awesome, wicked, fantastic event. And you can even go afterwards and maybe have some sort of coffee in the North End. You make it a day. That is really highly recommended by me. Go to Cafe Vittoria or Modern Pastry or something like that. Make it a day. Walk around. They did over Government Center. It's really beautiful. You can check that out. You guys good? I'm good.
Yeah.
One more thing.
I will just say this. You buy tickets in advance, they're cheaper. It's only $20 in advance. That is short dollars.
That's key.
For a great time. Okay. Yep. But you can get tickets at the door, citywinery.com/Boston, a $20 advance ticket. It's from noon to 2, thereabouts. Doors at 11. We go out and meet everyone after the show. Sal hangs out. We hang out. We celebrate the Beatles. It's a love vibe through the whole thing.
Right.
And we go back 60 years ago. We're gonna take a photo of all of us with everyone who was at the 64 show. And I was telling Steph this morning, 50 years from now, or 40 years, when it's a 100-year anniversary, they'll be showing that picture of us with all of those from 64 who saw the Beatles. And Sal, Jay's mom.
Yes.
Like 93. I mean, you knew her since you were a boy, right?
Yeah.
She went to see the Beatles in 64. She's coming to share her memories. So it's going to be a real peace and love vibe on Sunday. Great food. And you can order food during the show. You can drink, have fun. John is a super talent.
Oh, yeah. He's going to blow you away. You guys, folks, if you've never seen John, he'll toast your mind.
Thanks.
One thing that's fun to do, you can kind of be a hero if you want. The tickets are so reasonable, $20 in advance. What you could do to be a real superstar, you get, and I've done this, you get a 4-pack and give them to friends and go, hey, man, I got you these tickets. You want to go? Or if they don't want to go, ask somebody else. It's kind of cool. Or you could call them up in advance and say, hey, if I get these tickets, will you go? They'll think you're awesome and they'll owe you. Anything else? No, we're good.
I think we're good. And, we love Stephanie. She's the greatest.
Oh, yeah, Stephanie. Yes, of course. Stephanie's the executive producer. Before we go, it's important to know there's all kinds of stuff that goes on that you have to do. Like I see you backstage with a bag of stuff and you're running around hooking stuff. You have to have tech knowledge and hook up these live call-ins from London. Tell me a little bit about what the executive producer does.
Oh, my gosh. I just... harness the magic that these guys bring to the stage, and it's just a multimedia experience. Like I said, we will have people zooming in, we'll have people on stage. It's just a really fast, fun Beatle hang. It's really chill.
It's a Beatle hang. That's
it
right.
Goes up.
Yeah. And I will tell you though, we're working on a show. The show's happening. We get home from the show. She's already working on the next one. So it's always working. She's getting emails from the venue.
That's not
from
work
our
if you
guests.
love what you do.
She loves what she does. She does love what she does, and we love what she does.
Yeah.
The nucleus of the whole idea came from her. So
And even if you're not a super Beatles fan, I really wasn't a super Beatles fan when I started going, but then I came to appreciate them, and I'm a much larger fan, and it's fun to be involved.
We hear that a lot. We
with
hear
the
that a lot. So even
larger
if you grab
Beatles
your
community.
friends and they're not Beatle fans, there's something for everybody. They walk away going, "Oh my gosh, I never knew any of that. And it was so much fun."
well, it was John's idea. He said, "Listen, there's one way we can get Bradley to like the Beatles. Let's start doing a show at the winery."
Yeah, that's right.
And that's how it happened.
Is there a movie people can watch to get psyched ahead of time? What would you recommend?
There's a Hard Day's Night. We love a Hard Day's Night. And next year is the 50th anniversary of Help. Is that correct? 50. Is it 60?
Yes.
60.
65, yeah.
So next year will be the anniversary for Help. So Help's a great movie. And of course, all of their movies are fun. But my favorite is A Hard Day's Night.
And
Okay.
you can go to cometogetherproductions.com and you can check out the reel and see what the show's like and learn all about it. It's right there. It's John showing you.
Where do you get tickets online again?
CityWineryBoston.com.
Okay.
No.
Oh,
Citywinery.com/Boston.
oh.
Yeah.
Citywinery.com/Boston. Or,
Yes.
if you forget that, go to City Winery website and go to events and scroll down.
Yeah, just go there. Ask for Scott Feldman. He'll do anything you need.
Yeah.
All right. So we've covered it all. It's going to be great. And have
Shall I
fun.
pull out an album, Bradley? See what we got?
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's pull out an album. Oh, look at this one. Sgt. Pepper, autographed by Paul McCartney.
Are those all Beatles albums in the back?
All Beatles albums. John Logan would like this one. This is the vinyl. This was a gift for my birthday a bunch of years ago. The one album.
Yeah,
What do we got?
The Beatles.
Look at this, Sal. Rubber Soul, still sealed in plastic,
Of course.
from a store called Eaton's. EA. And look at the price tag is still on it. And it says, oh, this is a little more expensive, $9.99.
Yeah. So these days, vinyl is a big deal again. And you go to a regular vinyl store like Village Vinyl in Brookline, and regular old Bowie albums, $30, like a regular old album. So how much? I'm just curious. How much would that Rubber Soul album be like now? Like
Well, the
$150?
sealed one,
Yeah.
maybe close to $100. I mean, it's sealed. It looks like it's from the 70s. It's $9.99. But this one is worth a little bit. This is one of my favorite albums, Sal. On VJ Records,
Yeah.
Songs, Pictures, and Stories of the Fabulous Beatles. And look at this. It opens up, and you get a bio of every Beatle. Sorry to cover your face. Oh, no. And then on the back, Sal and I would do this when we were kids. On the back, they put the Beatle picture in a heart, and you're supposed to place your picture in the heart. So it says, Ringo Starr, Paul McCartney loves Sal Baglio. You can put it in there.
So Chachi, you knew Sal when you were a kid?
No, I just say that, but we were both Beatle fans
Okay.
as youngsters. But
You
no,
did it separately.
yeah, we met Sal during my BCN days. And
Yeah.
Because Sal's from East Boston, right?
Beatle Brothers in
Yeah.
Arms.
He's from
Oh,
East
yeah,
Boston.
definitely. I mean, we have a lot in common with the vowels at the end of our name and whatnot.
Yeah, Sal's from East Boston. I never went to East Boston for the bakery stuff. We always went to Watertown. But some of the best food places are in East Boston.
Yeah.
Right on. Eastie number one, right?
Yeah.
All right. I don't want to bore you, so I'm going to go before it's not fun anymore. Thank you so much, and have a great, great, great gig. And you guys share this to, it's always good to, if you want to help us out, share this to big Facebook groups and get some of your friends out there. Like if you have a town, which you probably do, everybody kind of does. You live in Brockton, share it to the Brockton town group.
Yes.
That's a big help. That's it. I love hanging out with you guys, and I'll see you soon.
Love you too. See you Sunday.
See you later.